Hi everyone, and welcome to the lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk about unlike terms. In other words, unlike algebraic terms. As simple as it sounds, what it means is just the opposite of like terms. In other words, terms that do not have so much in common in such a way that you may not be able to add them to get an integer, single integer value, or a constant number value, or a single term value. Okay, they are unlike terms, and they also appear in algebraic expressions, algebraic equations, and so on and so forth. So I continue to give the example. When you put apples and oranges in a basket, each one is an unlike term to the other. Apple is an unlike term to the orange, and orange is an unlike term to the apple. But if you want to pick the apples, then you have to pick the apples. All apples are like terms. All oranges are like terms. It's as simple as that. So let's take a look at the notes, and we'll go from there. Unlike terms, simple. That means terms that do not have things in common, other properties or characteristics. So we can say unlike terms are terms. We can say, okay, unlike terms can be characterized as one, terms with constant numbers but with different properties. Example, you have 3 and root 7. They are all constant numbers, but they have different properties. 3 is a rational number and root 7 is an irrational number. So what makes them unlike? You cannot add them and get a single term value or an integer. No. If you add 3 plus root 7, it becomes an expression rather than a term. Okay. Next, 2. Unlike terms are terms with different variable factors. Example, 5x is a term minus 7y, and their variables are different, even though they have constant numbers, integers, rational numbers in front of them as coefficients, but their variables are different. So they become unlike terms. You cannot add them or subtract them to get a single term value or to get a single integer value. That's why they are unlike terms. 3. Unlike terms are terms with the same variables but with different degree of exponents. That one is simple. X, which is can be said to be x to the power of 1. X. This one is 2x to the power 2 to the power 2 to the second degree. The other one is 5x to the power 3. They all have x in common, but their degree of exponents is different. This one is to the power 1, this is to the 2, and this is 3. So they are unlike terms. You cannot add them to get a single term value or a single integer value. No. Rather, you can add them to get an expression. Yes. And when you get an expression, then you can factor the variable out. Still, even at that, you will still get an expression and unlike terms. So this expression is simple. They are unlike terms.